Today, I want to share how I've been able to start conversations with strangers and turn them into lasting friendships. This is something I do regularly since I'm always on the move, meeting new people along the way. I follow a straightforward 5-step process to make it happen. Step 1. Two things are always at the forefront of my mind: proximity and eye contact. When it comes to proximity, I typically begin conversations only with people who are within 1 or 2 meters of me. This distance is ideal because it allows them to hear me clearly without shouting, and it feels more organic. I often strike up conversations with people in elevators, on public transport, or while waiting in line. As for eye contact, I'll only start talking to someone if they make brief eye contact with me, even just for a split second. This is because eye contact is a basic form of communication. It's an unspoken acknowledgement that we're both present. If I see someone working intently at a coffee shop, I usually won't interrupt them because I don't want to disturb their focus. However, if they're looking around, fiddling with their phone, or gazing into space, they're likely open to conversation. So, if someone makes eye contact and is within my personal space, I move to step 2, which is asking, "Where are you from?" I ask this because I grew up in New York City, a melting pot of cultures, and I'm always traveling, meeting people from all sorts of backgrounds. If you're from a more homogeneous city, you can adjust this question to something like, "What part of town are you from?" I've used this opening line thousands of times, and I've never received a negative reaction. Once they respond, we can move on to step 3. Step 3 is where I share something I know or ask them a question about their background. This can be a delicate step, so let me give you some examples. About a year ago, I met a taxi driver in New York who was from Bhutan. When he told me that, I said, "Wow, I've never met anyone from there before, but I've heard it's the happiest country in the world. Is that true?" See what I did? I shared a piece of information I knew about his country and followed it up with a question for him to elaborate on. The reason I do this is because I'm genuinely curious about their background. It's a way to learn more, and the next time I meet someone from Bhutan, I'll be able to reference something they wouldn't expect a stranger to know. For example, while traveling in Europe, I met a Nigerian who said something interesting during our conversation. The smartest Nigerians usually leave Nigeria. From that point on, whenever I meet another Nigerian anywhere, I ask, "I've heard that the smartest Nigerians leave Nigeria. Is that true?" Now, I understand that this could be interpreted as offensive, but I'm just relaying what I was told, and I ask out of curiosity. In fact, most of the time they laugh and agree because in reality it's a compliment. At this point, you may be picking up on the fact that I like to take a bit of a risk in my conversations. I tend to say things that some might find a little controversial or bold. This brings up an important principle. The more daring and authentic you are, the more memorable you'll come across. Sure, some people might be offended, but those aren't the kind of people you want to be friends with anyway. People who are open-minded and find your comments engaging will feel more comfortable with you because they'll sense that you're not someone they need to censor themselves around. If you prefer to play it safe, that's fine too. You can still make plenty of friends by being genuinely interested in others. Once you've made a comment or asked a question about their background, you can steer the conversation in many directions. I usually ask people about their work, what they think of the country we're both in, or current events. This stage can last anywhere from a few minutes to an hour, and it's here where most of the connection is formed. If I like the person and think I'll enjoy spending more time with them, I move on to step 4. If not, I politely say goodbye and part ways. Step 4 is simple. I invite them to hang out. If I'm in a city with an exciting nightlife, I'll ask if they'd like to go for drinks. If not, I'll invite them to grab a meal. It's really that easy. Being a fun person to be around is more about the skills you develop in steps 1 through 3, along with some other conversational tips. Once you've extended the invitation, there's just one more step to complete. The next time you see them, mention their name just once. This shows that you remembered them, and it's enough to make a lasting impression. There's no need to repeat it over and over. Just saying it once will likely make them think, "Wow, this person actually remembered my name," and that's all you need to do. And that's it. That's the process for starting conversations with almost anyone and turning them into potential friendships. I hope you found these steps helpful and feel more confident about starting conversations and building meaningful connections with new people. Remember, the key is to be genuine, curious, and a little adventurous in your interactions. People love that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay tuned for the next ones.